Hi everyone, Dr. Jeff here with you today. We're in the first week of official summer, so yippee! Got a nice warm weekend coming up. So I thought today we'd talk a little bit about footwear. What do you wear in the summer? And I see a lot of people walking around wearing flip-flops. And now, are they good for you or bad for you? Well, the general thought is for a long walk, they are bad for you. Flip-flops were originally designed to wear in the shower when you want to avoid getting athlete's foot or anything else in the shower, prevent yourself from slipping on the floor, walking around the pool when the surface is really hot, to keep your feet from burning, or maybe wearing around the house a little bit so you're not stepping on things and slipping. So that's what a flip-flop was for. And there's many different kinds. There's this one here, you can see there's really nothing to this flip-flop. You got the little big toe holder here. They do have other types out there. This one here, the Adidas one. A little better. It's not quite as flexible, but still, there's no heel cup in it and everything. So what's wrong with these things? Well, one thing is, how does it stay on your foot? You kind of have to use your toes to kind of clip on to the front of the shoe. So by having to use your toes all the time to hold on to the shoe, that can lead to some arthritis in your toes and some really sore feet. There's also no arch support in here whatsoever, so you're really stretching your arch in there. Lead to plantar fasciitis. At the bottom of your foot, here you've got a little bone on the base of this big toe here called a sesamoid bone, much like your kneecap. And again, there's no cushioning there at all. That bone can get irritated. It's called sesamoiditis. So you get a very sore big toe. Also, there's no support, so you can get a bunion, so your big toe starts to bend in. You can get a bunion with it at all. You can also find that it changes your stride, because you can't really stride out with it because you're having to keep the flip-flop on your foot. You change your stride, and that can lead to some knee pain, some hip pain, and some back pain with wearing a flip-flop. I'm not sure about you, but I find when I wear something like this, if I'm trying to drive, I find that I'm having to kind of kick my foot a few times to try and keep the flip-flop on my foot, because it has a tendency to try and slide off, and that's not good. If it slides off, it gets stuck under your gas pedal, you're kind of in trouble. So that's another issue with wearing the flip-flop. So flip-flops are designed for short-term use and wearing around the pool, not for long-term use and wearing at Canada's Wonderland. So the next step up from wearing a flip-flop would be something like a Birkie or a sandal. The benefit of wearing a Birkie is that you've got a deeper heel well here, also around here, so your foot's going to be sitting in the shoe better. So you're not going to have to using your toes as much to try and keep the foot on the shoe on your foot. It also does have a bit of an arch support in here, which is going to help with plantar fasciitis. It has a couple straps to try and keep your foot in the shoe, which is better. The one problem with a Birkie is that most Birkies are more of a cork type of sole, which is really good. It gives you a little bit of cushioning, but also over time the heat will mold it to your foot. So there's no accommodation to your foot or your gait with a Birkie. They'll feel comfortable when they're on quite often because it just molds to your foot, so it feels like it's your actual foot. But it's not going to be corrective at all, but it's certainly a step above wearing a flip-flop. The next thing we can go to is something called a orthotic sandal. So it's a regular sandal, but it actually comes with orthotic that you can put in, which will actually correct the mechanics. So it's an accommodation thing, corrects the mechanics of your feet. This one here has a strap at the back, a strap at the front to try and keep your foot in your shoe. So again, you're not having your toes to try and grab your shoe to keep it on. Also has a bit of a heel well in here to try and keep it on your foot. Again, it has a strap system. Also has a bit of a sole here and some grip, so you're not going to slide over the place. So definitely over wearing a Birkie or a sandal, even an orthotic sandal, is certainly a big step over wearing a flip-flop. Now, of course, we have your running shoe. Running shoe, you look at a much deeper heel cup here. Try and keep from spraining your ankles. When you're wearing a flip-flop, it's a lot easier to sprain your ankle than it is in a running shoe and sliding out of your shoe. So much better. It's laced up, so it's going to stay on your foot. Generally, you have much better arch support in there to keep you from getting plantar fasciitis. Also cushioning to prevent you from getting sesamoiditis. So if you're planning on going for a long walk, going hiking, or going the Canada's Wonderland, anything like that. It's better to have a running shoe. It may feel a lot hotter. You may not look the classiest, but for your foot's sake, it'd be much better for you to wear a running shoe so you don't get really sore feet, a sore knee, or sore back when you're going for long walks. So, as I mentioned, a running shoe's got a good sole, good support, much better for long-term walking. Birkies and your orthotic sandals are much better than a flip-flop. Flip-flop, wear it for around the pool. That's about the only place you should be wearing that thing. If you have any questions about anything we talked about today, you can always email me at jgoldsworthy@goldsworthywellness.com, or you can talk to me on Facebook. I'm Dr. Jeff, and we've got your back.